Good evening, Your Royal Highness, Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the opening dinner of the 14th IISS Manama Dialogue Regional Security Summit. We are delighted that this dinner and the event it opens are held under the patronage of His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Bahrain, Sheikh Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, Deputy Supreme Commander and First Deputy Prime Minister. Since its establishment in 2004, this IISS Manama Dialogue has benefited from the unstinting support of the host country and the persistent loyalty of the growing number of participating states. It is worth reminding ourselves of why this IISS Manama Dialogue was established and what the sources of its resilience are. By giving a powerful intergovernmental character to the Manama Dialogue while preserving the informality of an unofficial mechanism, the IISS can serve the objectives of facilitating official exchanges on strategic challenges conducted between groups of states flexibly assembled, engaging all regions interested in the Gulf and wider Middle East security. This effort in defense diplomacy works because the IISS has no agenda in mounting the event other than to sustain a key forum where defense diplomatic goals can be set by those responsible for security and foreign policy and have those goals intellectually stress test by the top analysts and experts we also gather. Next month, the IISS formally marks its 60th anniversary. So this 2018 Manama Dialogue is also a celebration of our 60 years of accomplishment. We promise that the IISS will continue to generate facts, produce analysis, and exert influence on the great strategic issues of the day. As you all know, the IISS is fiercely independent in its disposition and proud to be international in its composition, international in its perspective, and international in its reach. We look forward to our continued growth and to our strengthening relationships with governments, companies, and experts around the world. And it is splendid that we can further develop our work on and in this region from our excellent international office here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. In this 60th anniversary year of the IISS, and 15 years after we first convened the Manama Dialogue in Bahrain, we are deeply honored that His Majesty King Abdullah II of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan agreed to be our keynote speaker. He is a soldier strategist of the first rank, and his understanding of the region and the strategic challenges it faces is deeply appreciated by all who engage with him. Every issue to be addressed at this Manama Dialogue is one on which His Majesty would have an authoritative view, and almost every strategic challenge debated here is one whose resolution, one way or the other, would affect the stability of Jordan. That is why his perspective is ideal to set the intellectual framework for our deliberations and inspire wise policy choices to be taken. Following the tragic deaths of many school children and a number of adults in recent flash floods in Jordan, all of us at the IISS and all of us at this Manama Dialogue offer our sincere condolences to the families of the victims and the people of Jordan. His Majesty has remained in Jordan today to oversee the continuing rescue efforts and share in his people's grief. True to his commitment to be with us tonight and help lead us into our dialogue, he has asked that his prepared remarks be delivered by the Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Jordan, Ayman Safadi. Please join me in welcoming him to the podium to deliver the opening keynote address by His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan to the 14th IISS Manama Dialogue.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate.
I'm honored to be here with you today on behalf of His Majesty King Abdullah II bin Hussein, who sends his greetings to all of you. And as you all know, as Dr. Chipman has just mentioned, stayed at home in light of the tragic accident resulting from the flash floods that we did see yesterday. On behalf of His Majesty, I want to thank you all and thank our brethren and friends across the world for the overwhelming feelings of support during these indeed very difficult and very sad times for us in Jordan. رحم الله أبنائنا وبناتنا وأنعم على المصابين بالشفاء.
God takes the soul of our children, girls and boys, and we would like to pay our condolences to their families.
During His Majesty's remarks to this distinguished forum, so I start quoting His Majesty. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, friends. It is a great pleasure to take part in the Manama Dialogue again. For the long support of these summits, let me express my appreciation to His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. Dr. Chipman, General Beckett, my thanks also to you and the entire IISS team. As I prepared to be with all of you this evening, I thought about the vital role of the Manama Dialogue, which has given this region a unique summit-level setting to tackle important security issues, share ideas and expertise, and identify solutions. But even more important is your power to take this regional dialogue forward and outward to raise global understanding about our region and its central role. Today, there's a constant flow of news about regional issues. One moment, a crisis is at the top of our screens. The next minute, global headlines have turned to a different crisis. But as every expert in this room knows, events and their impact do not end because the news cycle has moved on. The refugee crisis continues. The rights of Palestinians continue. Their status as refugees continue. The challenges of unemployment and lack of opportunity continue. Environmental dangers continue to threaten health and development. And terror and Islamophobia are still threats to our collective future. These serious challenges are long-term, complex, and interrelated. They are global in scope, and they have deep roots. It goes without saying that successful solutions must be just as holistic, just as global, and just as deep. To achieve security, the international community must also address justice and inclusion and opportunity. To create opportunity and economic growth, the world must also ensure stability and confidence. And to provide truly global justice and inclusion, we as a world must always stand up for the values on which human coexistence depends. Mutual respect, collective action, and long-term commitment are central to the security issues you are discussing here at this dialogue. In our region, we've seen significant military victories over the Khawarij, the outlaws of Islam, but there is still vital work to do to consolidate the gains and help crisis-torn communities rebuild. And let's not forget that as these challenges and threats are addressed, the operational threat remains global. If the international community ignores today's hotspots, they will only spread. As I've said before, this is a generational fight. The ideological aspect is key. The Khawarij rely on a pseudo-religious ideology to justify murderous acts and foment sectarianism. We need to do more than expose their lies and crimes. We need to counter their false narrative with a true one that offers human solidarity and hope. Jordan has led a global effort to articulate the real social values of Islam: tolerance, compassion, mercy, and respect for the dignity of all men and women. We seek an international interfaith dialogue against bigotry and against hate. From the local community to cyberspace, the voices of coexistence must be heard. And the principles of coexistence must also guide our collective action. The countries of the world have a security interest as well as a moral duty to ensure that all people, especially young people, share in the promise of this century. Global support is especially important for refugee host countries like mine that have borne the brunt of multiple regional refugee crises. Our international partnerships need to stay strong until this crisis is truly over. Only one part of the job is to help prepare refugees to return to their homes and rebuild peaceful, prosperous communities. The other, equally important job is to help the host communities that have sacrificed so much to do the right thing and support the sustainable, inclusive development that is essential for regional, global stability and growth. My friends, another critical security concern for the region and the world is the long denial of the Palestinian statehood. This conflict has been a global disruptor of peace and stability. When occupation and violence continue for generations, and the peace process hits a dead end again and again, this is not just the failure of the parties, it is a failure of global strategic relationships and credibility. 8 years ago, here at the Manama Dialogue, I argued that our region will not enjoy security and stability unless we solve the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. This has sadly proved true. And we cannot expect better until our world does much, much more to guide the parties towards a just and durable two-state solution. One that meets the needs of both sides, is fully in accord with international law and resolutions, provides an end to the conflict, and creates, my friends, a viable, independent, sovereign Palestinian state on the 1967 lines with East Jerusalem as its capital. There have been many attempts to delay and subvert the hope of the two-state solution offers. Today, these negative efforts include the fallacy of a single binational state. Any such solution based on unilateral acts and unequal rights would be a moral disaster and a recipe for continued conflict. Lasting peace cannot be unilateral. It can only be built by respecting the rights, hopes, and needs of both sides. This is the real security of peace. And let's also remember this. In order for people to live in peace, they must be empowered to prepare for the day of peace. For that, Palestinian schools need to be open, and families and communities need our protection. My friends, UNRWA must be fully funded. In the days ahead, global collective action will be more important than ever. Above all, we need to safeguard Jerusalem's holy sites and historic Arab, Muslim, and Christian identity. Anything that puts the holy city in jeopardy would be a deep religious offense to billions of people around the world. To me personally, and to all Jordanians, the Hashemite custodianship of Jerusalem's Islamic and Christian holy sites is a binding duty. Join us in protecting the holy city as a unifying city of peace. My friends, when the world's people, especially young people, can see a future of hope, the whole global community benefits. And when our central strategic region is strong and successful, the whole global community shares in the benefits of our stability, security, and growth. In the days ahead, I hope you will take that message to the world. We need all of you in the lead to help the international community work together, talk together, and keep to its principles. I wish you every success. Thank you.